14 statements in the box. Because, of course there is. Of course there's 14 of them. One for each fear, I assume. Or something like that. Are there 14? Are there still 14? I don't know. This was not my area of expertise. Why are they showing up at my house? It's been 2 weeks. My God. Oh. This one's considerably shorter, about half the length of the previous one. Only like 2.5 pages, I guess. Alright, let's do this. Statement of Olivia Adams regarding logs split for firewood. Statement given December 1st, 2020. Recording done May 21st, 2025. Done by Arya Mays Luther, previously affiliated with the Magnus Institute, London. Statement begins. I've never liked bugs. Well, I guess that's not true. I like some bugs. Butterflies, moths, ladybugs, the occasional roly-poly. You know, the nice ones. It's kind of funny when you think about it. I love being outdoors, but I hate bugs. I live up north, where the winters are always freezing. The house I grew up in was centuries old, before modern-day luxuries like heating systems, electricity, plumbing, the lot. We moved in when I was 6, about 14 years ago now. The house had been in the family with previous owners for generations, and they'd done a good job of trying to keep things up to date for the most part. The only exception to this was the heating. No HVAC, no radiators, just this one old wood stove in the living room that was probably as old as the house was. It had been routine, ever since I could remember, to help with the wood. We all did, like a team. At first, all I did was carry the sticks and bark inside for kindling, which then turned into me helping split the wood when I was 12. We didn't use axes to split the wood. Instead, we had this small splitter with a button and a lever to split faster. My dad and my brother would bring the wood inside, and either I would split it or my mum would. Occasionally, there'd be bugs in the wood. A normal occurrence in nature. A lot of bugs find comfort in trees, especially during the winter. Usually they'd be dead, frozen carcasses embedded into the wood, but there'd be a rare occasion where we'd find an active ant colony and have to take the wood back outside so they'd leave. It always bothered me more than the rest of my family. I just couldn't stand to be in the room when I saw them, dead or alive. My mom ended up always burning those ones first, because she knew how much it bothered me. It did feel better knowing they were gone, but still felt like something was crawling on my skin. I knew it was just paranoia. There was nothing really there. There never was. By the time I was 16, my brother had moved out, and both my parents were working full-time. I'd be alone after I got home, leaving me to take care of the wood in the fire in the winter. I'd bring it in, split it, and feed it to the fire to keep the house warm. It was hard at times due to all of the wind and the fact that the house wasn't properly insulated, but I made it work more often than not. I wasn't sure whether to bring this up or not, but I'd have dreams. It's ridiculous, I know. Everyone has dreams, but these ones felt different. It didn't feel like I was dreaming. I'd wake up normally, go through the motions of a normal day, but at some point, I'd open something or knock something over, and there'd be bugs. Hundreds and thousands of bugs. Ants, centipedes, spiders. It was different every night, but each time, I felt the crawling. The itch of them on my arms and legs and my back, but it felt real. It used to only happen every once in a while, followed by a sleep apnea episode. I don't only get those from being in the proximity to mold, so I figured it's what caused the dreams. I'd wake up, suffocating in my own body before my throat finally let me breathe. I'd end up telling my parents, not about the dreams, but about the sleep apnea. We'd find the source of the mold, usually in the bathroom next to my room, and get rid of it. Then I'd be fine for a while. Well, they became more frequent, almost nightly. I'd have the dream, then I'd just wake up. No sleep apnea, no mold, just something too real. I was alone when splitting the wood this time. Everyone else was busy at their jobs, and it was still too cold to let the stove go out. Everything was fine for a while. Till I got to this rotting piece. The rotting pieces are pretty good for fires, as long as they aren't damp, because they catch and burn quickly, helping everything else catch and keep warm. I don't know what I was expecting when I cracked it open, but it wasn't this. A weird, pulsing thing sat at the center. With the way the wood split, you would think that the tree grew around it, rather than whatever it was burrowing inside. It was a dark grey, and the more I stared at it, the faster it started pulsing. Almost like a heart. There were bulges that seemed to look like veins squirming underneath the surface. And that's when it burst. I couldn't count how many centipedes there were, but they quickly covered the surface of the splitter, writhing and crawling around. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run, to do something. I wanted to kill them. I wanted to see each one die and never come back. But I was paralyzed in my own fear. I don't even think it was fear. I didn't feel afraid. I didn't feel the phantom crawling of bugs upon my skin. It was just stuck. I couldn't tear my eyes away, even as they started crawling up my legs. Every part of my mind was screaming at me to run as I felt them starting to burrow into my skin. I could feel the blood spilling down my legs and the stinging of their teeth and legs as they tore through skin and muscle. The pain became so intense that I fell over, almost bashing my head on the wooden floor. The act of falling seemed to snap me from whatever temporary paralysis I had fallen into. I scrambled to grab my phone from my pocket, frantically squishing the centipedes crawling over the surface before calling 999. By the time anyone was able to come, the centipedes were gone. I don't know where they went, but the only evidence that they were even there was what was left of my legs. They ate through enough of my calves that I needed to get what was left amputated. There was never an official explanation about it, but I think my parents got the gist. We ended up moving a few months later. I think if I stayed in that house, I would have died. Statement ends. I've never been a fan of the corruption, and this statement seems to hit a little too close to home for my comfort. I don't know if these are for Edwin anymore. I don't know. Maybe the first one was, but I don't think this one is. God. What am I supposed to do with this? I think I'm just gonna burn it. Might as well. End recording.